Hello there everybody. I thought it was a good time to sit here and do a vinyl and CD update on the balcony. And the weather have been really marvelous this past 1.5 weeks with extremely hot temperature, a great sun. And today is a little bit cooler, a little windier. I don't think it will be any problem, but just in case if you hear some windy noises, you know why. I hope you can live with that. I also want to say that I might do some changes in the intro. I've been thinking of doing a more directly to the video intro instead of having this long 15-16 seconds long. And that might be that for those of you who have enjoyed Ezra Bossa as an intro, I might skip that, unfortunately. I've been having it for 5-6 years now, so maybe it's time for a change. I know that some of you like my intro music, but we'll see. I haven't made up my mind yet, but I think it would be great to do something totally different and maybe do something shorter also. So we see what happens down the line. But for those of you who liked Ezra Bossa, hi, Rob and X, be prepared that it might disappear. But on to the business, the records. Pretty okay stuff. I said I would do vinyl updates, CD updates more often and hopefully a lot shorter. Stuck a Bow, CD single, Swedish artist. Some of you may not know that name one bit, but if I say his real name, Johan Renck, maybe then some might, alright, because he's been doing some music videos for artists outside of Sweden. Among others, he has been doing videos for Madonna, and I think it was for the music album. So this is a single by him from '95, Great Blondino. He started off as a musician and DJ actually. We have British band Kula Shaker that I have been discovering big the past years. They were most popular in the 90s in the Britpop era, though mix it up with some music influences from India, which can be heard in many of their songs, using sitar and so on. This is a cover of Deep Purple's song Hush that I had a minor hit with in 1997. I didn't like it then, but I like it a lot nowadays. This is more like an mini album actually, because it's 6 tracks on it. Hush, then of course, Raggy One, Waiting for Tomorrow, Under the Hammer, those are new songs. Smart Dogs, a live version, Night on the Town, a live version, and another of their more famous hit singles, Govinda, proof of their Indian influence, live version. So this one's going to be very, very interesting. And those were the CD singles. We have vinyl singles. This is a band that I discovered in a pretty interesting way back in 2014 when I was in Stockholm. There was a record store that was shutting down, unfortunately, and they had a sellout, and outside of the store they had a box with CDs, old used CDs that they actually gave away for free, and I picked, I think I mentioned it in one of my first videos, in my when I was in Stockholm 2014. And I think I showed that record with the band Temper Temper. And it was actually a really, really great CD, even though I had no idea who Temper Temper were. But it is this duo, and this is a singer from that album. It's All Outta Loving You, and Better Love as B-side. It's a kind of a early 90s house pop style, and as some of you might know, I like these British late 80s, early 90s house tracks, so this one is actually really, really good. Underrated, you might say. Here's a band that some of you might know even better. This is Pat and Mick. They were one of Stock Aitken Waterman's projects. Pat is the one here, and he is a radio DJ. He was also a VJ. I noticed him when he was a chart presenter on Sky Channel, when we had that channel when I was younger. But they also did some music, and a little cheesy this 80s disco style with a lot of refrain that everyone can sing along with. They had a hit with Let's All Chant. Ooh, ooh. It was cheesy but actually a real fun song. This is a much more minor hit called Gimme Some from 91. Might also call it one of the last breaths for Stock Aitken Waterman. And the B-side is called Arcadia. Nothing to do with the side project from Duran Duran. We have some sports singles. Not often I can show that. This is something I bought more for the fun than actually it's might think is good. This is the Swedish football team, soccer, with Georg Åby Eriksson, who was their trainer at the time. The single itself is called Vägen till VM, the road to World Cup, as this is a promotion single for World Cup soccer in 1974. They actually sings here those kind of campaign songs. Vi är alla svenska fotbollsgrabbar. We are all Swedish football boys. The most interesting here is that it actually is genuine sports clip from radio along with a single from some of the Sweden's most famous sports commentators. So this one is pretty fun to have, actually. More sports. Many of you know that Carl Lewis have been doing some music, or better or worse you might say. But Break It Up was actually I think it was a good song, actually. I think it's an underrated song. But I never ever seen another single with Carl Lewis. So I was very interested in seeing this, Going for the Gold. And I think it is a kind of promotion single for Olympics 1984. This is actually produced by Narada Michael Walden and written by Narada Michael Walden, so only that is is interesting. But it's also released on yellow vinyl. I think it is supposed to represent some kind of gold medal if it is yellow, I don't know. Swedish rock singer Dan Hylander, I mentioned him before. It's a really great one from the south part of Sweden. And the single Älskade Främling, Beloved Stranger from 1986. A single I wanted to find for quite some time. Michael McDonald from 1985 and No Looking Back from the album with the same name. We have at the B-side Don't Let Me Down. And we have more Swedish music. Bark is a band by Swedish guitar player Janne Bark, playing with a whole lot of Swedish musicians. And this is a track called Under min stjärna, Under my star. We have John Miles Band from 1985 and the song Blinded from the Transition album. Good So Bad at the B-side, produced by Trevor Rabin. We have some singles without the proper sleeve, but still. From 1978 and the album Double Vision, we have Blue Morning Blue Day by Foreigner. I have waited so long at the B-side. And finally, when it comes to singles, we have the Manhattans. You recognize those writings? Yes, I bought it at Återbruket. But I felt like I realized that actually it's taken from the Manhattans album Manhattans, and it is the same album where Kiss and Say Goodbye is on, and I realized that, hey, I have that album. So I felt like I gotta have this 7-inch. Hurt. We'll have Forever to Love at the B-side, also from the same album. Two great soul ballads from 1976. CDs. We have not many CDs though. Ella Fitzgerald and a release that I bought for 10 cents, so good to have. Released on Past Perfect. I had some of this, but this seems to be another Past Perfect release. This is something called How High the Moon, a compilation. All tracks are late 40s recordings with Hank Jones at the piano. So very, very interesting. Some Swedish jazz on CD. This is Arne Domnerus. I mentioned him a lot of times before. He's been playing with almost everyone in Swedish jazz, and a double CD compilation. I listened to it. Real great one. Must have for all fans of Arne Domnerus. The Best of Dompan, and Dompan is his nickname. And I mentioned also this lady before, Monica Zetterlund and Chicken Feathers. And this is a CD version of an album released originally in 1972. And I'm surprised if I say that Arne Domnerus also is playing on this album. And listen to this one also, a real great one. As you know, I love this singer very much, so I'm very happy for this one. Going on to the full-length vinyls. In the previous vinyl CD update, I mentioned this. Sarah Vaughan, Miles Davis, Dizzy Gillespie and Charlie Mingus compilation released on something called I Giganti di Jazz. That I said looked like kind of part of a box series. I have been checking up on that, and it seems like it is both part of a box set and sold separately. You can buy the box set itself and put the albums in it and make it a box set, but they're also being sold separately. So it's good to know that. But I also found some more of the same series. I've listened to it, but I wasn't that satisfied with those as with the Sarah Vaughan album. This sounds on the paper very good. Vernon Story, Johnny Harris, Rex Stewart and Sandy Williams. Sounds really great with late 40s recordings. some real nice 40s jazz. The only problem is that for some reason they have skipped the bass. In 80% of the songs there is no bass. So you're having some kind, if you want to experiment, okay, but this is genuine 40s swing without a proper piano, bass and drums. And how fun is that actually? Sounds like the drummer is pretty much alone in the back with the horns doing their thing. Not until I think it is 4 songs from the end, then they're putting in a bass player, but then it's already too late. So this one sounds very weird, and I don't think I will keep this one, unfortunately. It could have been great, but I don't know why they chose to do this. This one was even more horrible. Lee Kunitz, rest in peace. He's a great saxophone player, one of Lenny Tristano's pupils. He studied for Lenny Tristano, became a real great and legendary saxophone player. He passed away this April without me knowing it. I wouldn't have done something showing some of my stuff that I have with him if I had known it. But unfortunately for this, it sounds good. Lee Kunitz big band. Could have been could have been real cool. Sounds like more modern 50s, 60s recordings, 60s most likely. The problem is that it sounds horrible. No, it's 70s recording. Sorry, 70s recording. It sounds horrible because it sounds more like easy listening. It doesn't sound jazz. It sounds like James Last or something like that. Bert Comfort. Frank Waldor. I don't understand why actually, of all Lee Kunitz's great catalog of songs, they actually Gigante the Jazz picked this as their Lee Kunitz album. It's totally I don't really understand it. So this one will most likely not stay in the collection either. Proof that Gigante the Jazz, if it's right, but I'll be much more careful with what I buy. This one was a whole lot more interesting. This is Jan Garber, and Jan Garber is not that much known big band leader from the 30s and 40s, but I have a CD with him, and he is a really great one. I think he's no Count Basie, no Duke Ellington, no Benny Goodman, but he's not far thereafter. He's very good, very underrated actually. So this is a kind of 10-inch. I don't buy 10-inch all that much, but I thought this one, as it's not easy to find Jan Garber's albums, it was really great to have this one actually. Jazz, more jazz. Earl Hines and Bud Johnson, Dirty Old Man, released on Black and Blue. You also have Jim Leary at bass and Panama Francis at drums, recorded in 1974. Now we take some soul. We have Ohio Player and Contradiction. From 1976. And we have Four Tops, Main Street People from 1973. I think this is my first Four Tops album, believe it or not. I got it for 50 cents, so I thought it was a pretty good thing to have. This is Danish singer Anne Linnet, and album called Jeg jo lige her. My Danish sucks, I know. From 1988. I listened to this one, and was sounded. There were a lot of great Danish singers, and at that time, but unfortunately Anna Lindh was not near the quality of Sanne Salomonsen or Lis Sørensen. It sounded very amateurish in many parts. This is in Sweden most famous for the first song, Tusen stykker, who was translated into Swedish and became a huge hit by Swedish singer Björn Afzelius. But I was very disappointed. It sounded very, very bad. Bad musicians, bad production. So this one will not stay in the collection. And finally, some Swedish that I got for free from my father. I mentioned before that I do like very much Swedish singer-songwriter, balladeer, and also country singer Alf Robertson. And I got 3 Alf Robertson albums for free. This is Livet är ju som det är, Life is what it is, from 1987. We have this one, Alf Robertson sjunger Gunnar Wiklund, Adios Amigo, from 1991. And as you can see, it is a genuine signature from Alf Robertson, signed. And this is the oldest one, Help the Cowboy Sing the Blues, from 1979, recorded in Nashville. This is more fun to have than actually. I'm not that country fan, so as he sings in English here, it's more genuine country than the other ones. So, but it's really fun to have, as I do like his voice anyway. So that was the vinyl CD update for this time. So I hope that you have enjoyed it. So until next time, have a real nice time in the summer. Take care and so long.